Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
What is up, guys? It's Hunter Klein bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number 61, I believe, but no promises. Guys, we are feeling great this week. All right, last week's episode was rough, guys. Was rough. The day waking up to record was a goddamn mental battle, simply put, and it was a struggle. Okay, I barely made it through the recording. I almost stopped halfway through because I was so clogged up and just down in the dumps. It was one of those nasty head colds that doesn't really have any extreme effects or downsides, but just is very, very annoying. Going to bed full like you have concrete in your face, barely able to breathe, waking up suffocating with a dry. Oh God, I'm done talking about this. I want to talk about the flip side. Okay, the beauty in the health I'm experiencing now. Okay, I feel so good, and the juxtaposition of my health right now and the energy that I have now compared to last week is creating a very beautiful duality right now. We've talked about it before many times over. Sometimes you need that. Okay, I haven't felt this good in a very long while. Months. I haven't felt this grateful for health and well-being for a very long while. And in order to get to this high, this mountain of emotion and happiness and dopamine, I needed to get dragged through the mud for a week or two. And now we're feeling really good as a result of being in the dumps for a week. I'm at a new high. All right, it's still lingering. You might be able to hear it in my voice a little bit, but goddamn, when I lay my head down on that pillow and I can breathe, when I wake up in the morning and I can breathe, it feels so damn good, guys. It feels so damn good. I went to the gym for the first time. I was taking some time off. I realized that, I get into this mindset of work and progression and looking in the mirror and seeing how my body is developing and having pride in my work ethic. I get in this groove and I forget the basic physiological concepts of the human body. And it's important to take a week or two off, okay, to let your muscles recover. I was in a bad spot. I was feeling some micro trauma in my bicep, some micro trauma in my shoulder that I wasn't rehabilitating. I was just muscling my way through. And I saw this cold, this sickness, as an opportunity to take some time off and let my muscles recover. And I got back in the gym on a day that I felt the healthiest I've felt in a week or two. I felt like I just made it over this hump. It was 71 degrees, sunny. I'm at an outdoor gym in beautiful Arizona. God damn, was it a beautiful day. It felt so damn good, guys. It felt so damn good. I'm in a very weird headspace, okay? I'm living in Arizona, sitting out in the sun, soaking in the rays, getting tan. And I pull out my phone to see that Texas is in an absolute shitstorm at the moment. Millions of people without power. Snow is absolutely ridding the city. Pipes are blowing. Houses are flooding. And I'm just sitting on I'm basking in the sun in Arizona without a cloud in the sky. It's a very weird time for me mentally. But things are going good, guys. Overall, things are going extremely good. There's a lot of, like we talked about last week, a lot of victories to be had within arm's length for me right now. A couple tests coming up that I've been working very hard to study for. that I expect fully that I will succeed in. A lot of potential job opportunities, a lot of potential futures, figs on the tree, if you will, that I can grab. And it's a very interesting time right now. A lot of unknowns that makes things very, very exciting. I have no idea what my life will look like in 3 months. I might be moving back home to find a job after right here in April, which I haven't been home in years. I might move back there to save some money on rent and be in a comfortable place while I look for a job and figure out what city in this beautiful nation I will be spending the next 5-6 years of my life in. I might be moving into a friend's house here in Scottsdale or here in the Phoenix area, living on a couch. I have no idea. I have no idea what job I will be taking, what city I will be moving to, what my future has to hold. But it isn't exciting regardless, because I know I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that I'm in the best position possible going forward. It's hard. It's not normal. The workload's a little but goddamn, to these small daily victories, working our way to these tests, to these goals, to these thesis completions, does it feel good? I'm gaining confidence. And I'm learning a lot of information and becoming better and better at my craft every damn day, guys. So it feels damn good. It feels damn good. The mental health space is very well right now. The mental health space is good. I haven't touched social media in a very long time. I no longer pull out my phone without my own awareness to scroll through Instagram. I never do it anymore. And it's a beautiful feeling. I never get in an uncomfortable conversation, interaction with someone, and automatically default to pulling out my phone and scrolling through Instagram as a defensive mechanism. That is not in my person anymore. And it feels so damn good. It feels so damn good. I'm disconnected from that stuff. Now, I told you guys that I was only going to be using Instagram and social media as a platform for the podcast, but I've even fallen away from that a little bit. I still post the consistent clips, the consistent photos, make sure the IP Monkey's Instagram looks pretty. But the disconnection is helping me out a lot mentally. Okay, keeping me on my journey, keeping me focused, not getting distracted, not comparing my lifestyle, my goals, my journey to anyone else's. Okay? Not letting the filter of happiness that is Instagram make me feel shitty about what I'm doing, the journey I'm on, the goals I have, where I'm going, the speed at which I'm going. It's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. And I'm very thankful for where we're at right now. Very thankful for my health. Very thankful that this sickness I just battled through was not something serious like COVID. And goddamn, guys, we're doing well. We're doing well. I'm back heavy on ketosis, something I've been doing for 2 years. And I want to get this out of the way. I am a exercise and nutritional professional. Okay, so I know what I'm doing here. A lot of people, when they hear the word keto, reach for past experiences with friends of theirs that were shitting blood when they tried keto, and they say, that's not a healthy diet. That's not a good way to go. That's dangerous. Why are you trying to lose weight? Here's the deal with these diets, these fads. Okay, many people that do not have the proper education, knowledge, or guidance try to enter into something like ketosis, try to enter into a diet like keto, or try to go vegan. And they do not do it correctly. And as a result, they have extreme health decrements that they experience. Okay, but I'm doing it right, guys. And it is 100% the right move for me. The only negative side of the keto diet is the lack of glycogen in your muscles. The lack of glucose in your diet to fuel fast and slow glycolysis, which is needed for high power output. Okay, athletics. Okay, it is not a good idea for a keto fighter or for a MMA fighter, a UFC fighter, to go on keto because they're not getting the sugars, the carbohydrates they need for very short and intense exercises. That is the only downfall of the ketogenic diet. And considering that I am not competing, that I'm not fighting anybody to the death, that I'm not, trying to dunk a basketball every day, I am willing to sacrifice those those performance increases from carbohydrates. I'm willing to sacrifice that high intensity, short duration performance for, longevity, the health benefits that keto provides, and just the day-to-day energy stability. Okay? And most importantly for me, you guys have been on this journey with me. All right? If you're watching video right now, my face looks fantastic. My skin health is absolutely tremendous. Okay. And a couple of months ago, I was going through some serious facial breakouts. Okay. I was talking about how I felt like a high school kid again. And it was all because I switched back to carbohydrates because I wanted to feel my muscles and how they performed on carbs in the gym. And it was incredible, right? I might as well have been taking steroids with the performance boost I gained. No surprise, the energy systems you use in weightlifting are from carbohydrates, right? When I finally supplement carbohydrates, holy shit, now I feel like a superhuman in the gym. But as a result, I was getting a lot of inflammation, okay? Throughout my body, but most evident on my face, and it was terrible. But now my skin is absolutely clear once again, okay? And I think there's something to be said about this. Okay, one problem right now. During my skin breakout, I went to a dermatologist, and I said, "Sir, I am very in tune with my diet and my body. And as soon as I switched from a low carbohydrate ketogenic diet to a high carbohydrate diet, I noticed immediately inflammation, pressure, and breakouts on my face." And his response was, "Well, we don't have the evidence for that. I don't really know. There's no concrete evidence to show that that's the case." Now, I understand this. I'm a scientist. I know that you can only prescribe and be in the professional situation, prescribe to patients what is proven in the books, the foundation of what we know that is at your disposal. But there is a lack of research on this topic because I know for a fact, and me personally, and this may vary from person to person, from me personally, carbohydrate and calorie intake has an enormous effect on the amount of inflammation in my body and on my face. Okay, it's important to note that, yes, I'm eating carbohydrates and wow, I'm getting acne from it. Wow, that's not good. That's not an isolated incident, okay? The inflammation that is being shown on my face through acne is not isolated to just my head, all right? It is reasonable to assume that this inflammation being seen on my face come from carbohydrate consumption is cascading through my body, which isn't always a bad thing, right? Inflammation is good for healing muscles, for growth factors, and so on. But it's just a sign, and my face is a very good indication of what's going on in my full body. Okay, and as a result of going on keto, I have stable energy again. Right, I'm feeling good. I'm not really losing weight. I'm managing my calories. I have a clear face again, a lot of confidence. I don't feel like I'm in high school anymore, and it's an absolutely beautiful experience. Okay, the gym, I've taken a hit for sure. I can't perform like I did when I was on carbohydrates, but that's okay. Because I don't need to be some jacked bodybuilder. Even though I am going to be in strength and conditioning, we still look good and we're still growing. Muscle is growing, and I take amino acids and proper protein supplementation and make sure we don't have any muscle degradation and muscle preservation. That things are staying anabolic, things are staying synthesized. But overall, guys, the benefits outweigh the negatives for me personally when it comes to ketogenic diet, my lifestyle, and where I want to go. Again, now, if I was an athlete, the only time I would suggest someone not go on the ketogenic diet correctly, supervised, and analytically would be if you are an athlete that relies on short and powerful movements, power and strength movements. Okay? That is 100% the case. When we start getting into longer duration activities, like marathon running, maybe soccer games, the viability of something like the ketogenic diet is reasonable because in long-term, low-intensity exercises, you are using the oxidative system to fuel your body. You are using a majority of fats. Okay, so that's why the real only downside The real only definitive path that you should not be following keto on is short, explosive exercises, guys. All right. There's a little taste of what I've been absolutely obsessing over the last 6 months. And yeah, it feels good, guys. It feels good. Some things that are going on in the world. We landed the Ingenuity helicopter on Mars last week, or February 18th, guys, and this is a massive victory. Okay, so the Ingenuity helicopter is obviously a rotocraft, an aircraft that uses rotors to fly. Now, why is this a victory? We know how to fly helicopters. What is so cool about this? Well, there was a huge challenge to this project because Mars lacks an atmosphere. Okay, Mars lacks this blanket of atoms that we have that lay over our planet, right? This sort of fluid. You can think about the atmosphere over that circles Earth as a fluid. Okay. Well, while it doesn't feel near like what we would consider a fluid compared to a pool water, it is a fluid. And when we fly things, when we spin rotors in the atmosphere of Earth, we are using the resistance of that fluid, our atmosphere, to propel upwards. I hope I'm doing this in a reasonable manner. I hope you guys understand this, or are able to picture this. So when you take away this atmosphere, when you take away this fluid, and you try to fly something like our helicopter on Mars, it does not work. We don't have that resistance of our atmosphere. We don't have anything to push off of, and things get wonky. Okay. Simply put, flying a rotocraft on Mars is a huge challenge for engineers, and we were able to make it happen. We have confirmed we know how to engineer helicopter-like aircraft on the desolate planet of Mars, and this is a very small piece of a story that is the human species inhabiting Mars, making it to Mars. Okay, imagine a picture of a human civilization on Mars in 2100. Humans have a base on the planet, right? Things are a little red in the background. The scene is red. We have a little base centered in the picture. Outside the little colony, we have some humans in suits moving around, maybe moving from building to building. And in the back, we have a helicopter that's just lifting off the ground and carrying some materials. This project, this sole mission, shooting a aircraft out, releasing this device, this rotocopter, and landing it on Mars, was that small little piece of this picture. Okay, so while it might not seem very impactful, while people can jokingly pass it off as who cares, this journey to colonizing Mars, this journey of putting humans on that planet, is a very long journey that is a compilation of very small projects. Okay. And while each one may seem irrelevant and non-impactful, as these slowly stack up year to year, next thing you know, we have everything we need to put humans on other planets. Okay, and if we're not putting humans on other planets in this solar system, if we're not trying to expand the rocks that we inhabit as a species, we are simply waiting on Earth to die, waiting for a catastrophic event to happen. Whether it's global warming in the next 50, 60 years if we don't get ourselves in check, or whether it's an asteroid that hits us within the next 100 to 200,000 years. Okay, there's really no other option. Okay. There's really no other option. The Texas power outage, guys, has been nuts. I'm very thankful again for where I live. It's been very odd, sitting in the sun, basking, soaking in the rays, getting tan, feeling good about myself, pulling out my phone to see that, there's friends of mine in Texas who have lost power and are melting snow to pour into their toilets so they can flush. All right, it's very weird, and I'm very thankful for where I live. It's nuts, guys. No electricity, no running water for days. People are literally battling over food at the grocery store in Texas like the COVID lockdown is hitting again, and it is not good. Okay. For those that don't live in Texas, for those that aren't really paying attention to the news, it is a relatively It's a serious issue. Like I said, it's very similar to what happened in the COVID lockdown. People are going wild. I have a friend that is collecting snow in trash buckets outside of his house, bringing it inside, boiling it on the stove to melt it, and using it to flush his toilets. How annoying is that, guys? How shitty is that situation? I have another friend. I have another friend that lives in apartments that saw people shuttling to the apartment pool, collecting buckets of water from a pool water, so they can pour it down their toilets and they can flush. It's nuts. Pipes are bursting, houses are flooding, people are having to move. It is so crazy, guys. Grocery stores are empty wastelands. Remember the toilet? What would it be? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, sorry, I completely forgot the word for toilet paper. You remember the toilet paper aisles during COVID? Yeah, that is the entire restaurant or the entire grocery store in some of these Texas towns that are really, really lacking power. Now, what happened, guys? Apparently, this was the result of a gust of Arctic wind that hit Texas and the Great Plains alike and had a huge effect on weather, right? Temperatures dropped. As a result, the power demands for the entire state of Texas skyrocketed. Everyone's trying to heat their homes. The problem here is after that weather front hit, the power demands of homes across Texas was far, far greater than what the electrical grids in Texas were able to provide. The people needed too much power. It was something like 7.8 gigawatts of power were needed to power all the homes during this drop in weather, this snowstorm. And Texas was only able to provide like 5.3 gigawatts. Okay. There was like 133, there was like a 33% over demand here. That was a terrible phrasing, terrible use of language. But to give you an idea, there was almost 33% more power in demand than they were able to provide compared to their normal 100% base levels. And as a result, guys, millions of people lost their power, and I'm almost positive some people are still out of power. I mean, it's not a good situation. It's sad to see. I have some family in the area. I hope they're doing well. But yeah, I'm very grateful for what I'm doing here and where we're at. And this just makes me heavily consider my next location to live in. All right. Does it really get much better than Arizona? Okay. Not that I'm going to stay in this area if I get an incredible head strength and conditioning coach position for Alabama football team. But damn, does it really make me want to narrow down my search of job opportunities to the Arizona area, because we really don't have to stress about things like that here. Things are pretty easy in this area, and I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, it had a huge impact on my search for a new home in this area. Another very big thing, I think that we talked about many months ago. Chris Delia, one of the biggest comedians in the world, one of the wackiest, silliest guys in the world, is back on the map with a new YouTube video for the first time in a long time, guys. So if you're not aware, Chris Delia is a comedian, one of the biggest comedians in the world. Very funny, eccentric, silly, weird dude. You guys can watch his specials on Netflix. And I'll say like maybe 8 months ago, he was accused of some, what would it be, sexual allegations, right? That some women that he was having sexual interactions with were underage. Okay, now it has been proven, Chris came out, so that everything I've done sexually has been legal. But the YouTube video he released was very interesting and honestly very powerful, guys. He was talking about how, while he did not do anything illegal and he's not getting charged, he's not getting any legal repercussions for this, it was a wake-up call for him. He said that this was a shining light on something that was much bigger than just some chicks on Instagram saying that Chris Delia was trying to groom them. He went into how his wealth caused him to be, in one way or another, for lack of a longer phrase or longer spiel, addicted to sex. And this is a very interesting thing for me to observe and to watch Chris admit in this 10-minute short, you know, first time speaking on the topic since it happened. Okay. And he goes on to say, I was, for the first time in my life, I was popular. Everyone knew me. At 30 years old, I would go across the nation, city to city performing, and people would know me. And it was very easy for me to get women. And he's like, I thought this is how everyone did it. Don't let me to really spiel Chris's message here, because if you watch it, it is 100% genuine and very powerful to watch. Talking about how, it was very easy. Anytime he went into a city, he would have 50 DMs from women and he could just message them. Everything was easy. He didn't have to do any work. Everyone knew who he was. I didn't have to do that extra work that you need generally to get in bed with a woman, for lack of a better phrase. And it was causing huge issues for him. He was becoming addicted to the process. He was cheating on his fiance, so on and so forth. And this cancellation of Chris, as a result of some woman coming out on Instagram saying, hey, he harassed me when I was in town, or he, used his popularity to swoon me to have sex with him while he was in my town, caused Chris to go dark. Hasn't said anything anywhere since the allegations came out. He has a very successful podcast, a very successful comedian platform on Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Nothing on anything. Chris Delia fans have been left in the dark until now. But during that time, he was working on himself, trying to repair his relationship, get back into a healthy mindset. It sounded like he was really challenged, that he's working on himself, that he is trying to revamp his personality. And I think that's really awesome, guys. I think that's really beautiful, that he can admit that. And not only admit that, but come onto his platform for 500,000 subscribers and millions of viewers and say sorry. And admit that he had an issue, even though the issue isn't really relevant to any of us. Okay? Despite the fact the allegations were false, he still comes on and gives an apology and admits that he has a problem that he's working on. And I think that is very, very admirable. As a Chris Delia fan myself, I am very excited for this. I'm very glad to see the story arc of his, to see him transform. It's very interesting. Most importantly, guys, it's very interesting for me to see a 40-year-old man with enormous amounts of success, someone like me might look up to, or an aspiring comedian might look up, or an aspiring entertainer to look up to. It's incredible for me to see someone like this and realize that he's not perfect. There are some serious flaws, that there are some serious things that he needs to work on. And what it tells me is that this journey of development that we shine a light on here at IP Monkeys, that this journey of development, of inward processing and trying to become a better person week to week that I consistently talk about, is not just an isolated event for people in their early 20s, right? This isn't going to end when I get a job and a girlfriend and I get a kid. No, this is a constant battle, guys. This is a constant battle. And if you don't take the time to look into that, to continually develop, then you're going to be 20% of the man or woman you could be by the end of this human adventure. Right? And I think that's so powerful to see someone like Chris, someone with massive amounts of success, continue to develop and get into a spot where he needs some serious work. It's very humbling. It brings me a lot of hope, because I look at myself in the mirror and say, holy shit, man, we have a lot to fix. But it turns out, or it looks like, everybody does. No matter how many zeros are in your bank account, how many women are at your house or in your nice cars, we all have some serious shit that we need to work on, guys. All right. Guys, as far as the podcast, the content we are producing, what is going to happen here is this. A big focus here, or a big thought on my mind as of recently, is sustainability. Okay. Some weeks I'm going to be extremely busy. Some weeks I'm not. Some weeks I'm going to have enormous amounts of time to think about the world, pick fun at weird shit that humans do. Some weeks I'm not. As a result, and I've hinted at it in the past weeks, or we've alluded to it in the past weeks, this podcast looks like, if I had to guess here, no promises, that it is going to take the form of a reliable week-to-week news and entertainment podcast. Okay? Because regardless of how much introspection I'm doing, regardless of how much time I've had to observe humans and pick fun at them, or how much time I've had to think about myself and my flaws and what we're working on, there will always be news and entertainment going on in the world, and I will always have my opinion or perspective on it. Okay? And when it comes to sustainability, making sure this podcast is here for the long haul, it seems like incorporating news and entertainment, bouncing what is going on in the world off my perspective and filtering it through my brain for you all is the best way to keep this podcast going, regardless of the trials and tribulations that are going on in my life. Okay, so that is what we're going to do going forward. Some weeks there'll be little to no news, and I'll have a shit ton to talk about my life experiences and what I saw. Some weeks I won't have a lot to say. And what we'll be doing is going through news, making sure we know what's going on in the world, trying to stay up with our current events, and so on. Okay, I'm getting a little older. Okay, I'm becoming a man. All right. And as a result, I feel more of a responsibility to know what is going on in the world, be educated on what is going on in the world. And I can't help but feel like things are going to start changing in this direction for the podcast. Okay, this podcast is a reflection of me. And because this is a long-term thing. When I say long-term, I mean 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 years. Things are going to change over time. Now, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys stay interested. And if it doesn't become a week-to-week thing here and there for you, I hope that you tune in every month or so to see how things are going. But that's just what it is, guys. That's just what it is. In order for me to continually love this project, to be excited to come here week to week, I'm going to continue to put out content that feels right to me. Give you guys a scope into my brain and my thought processes and so on. Okay? Okay. If you guys want to call into the podcast, give your perspective, give your thoughts on a news and events, on some weird quirky mechanism of the human species, or some random fact that you learned this week on the internet, you can call the Interplanetary Monkeys hotline at 602-892-4371. I'll say that one more time. 602-892-4371. That is the Interplanetary Monkeys hotline. Leave a message. You'll be directed to a voicemail box, and you can leave a message, and I'll play it back here on the podcast. Play your voice back here on the podcast, and we'll talk about it for the community to listen to. Merchandise, I want to make it, guys. I want to make IP Monkey t-shirts, hats, so on and so forth. We're just going through a lot right now. Like career stuff. I'm about to move. I need to make sure I have money backing up this move, this potential changing of cities, potentially moving home. I have to make sure that I have safety mechanisms in place for my financial stuff to make this happen. So right now, investing an initial amount into t-shirts and apparel is not the best move for me. But I will tell you that it is coming 150%. I'm a man of my word. We will make it happen. I want to make it happen. It's just a matter of when my life finds some stability. All right. Right. Again, the IP Monkeys phone number, the hotline is 602-892-4371. Call in if you want to talk about anything. As always, guys, enjoy the ride. I hope you guys are all having fun, finding ways to improve, getting small victories day to day, feeling like you're going somewhere, you're progressing towards something. All right. If you're on a high, enjoy it. Find the beauty in it. Remember that it's not permanent. And if you're in a low, again. Remember that it's not permanent. Battle your way out. It will feel very, very beautiful when you get to the other side of that valley and find your way climbing up a mountain like I did last week, guys. The duality of life brings extreme beauty. And I hope you guys are all doing well and enjoying your human experience. All right. Alrighty, guys. This is Hunter Klein bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. That's all for this week. And you bet your A, you'll hear from me next week. Peace, peace.